Hey, what's up guys, it's Dom from Hole Printing Inc. In today's video, I'm sharing with you guys how to go ahead and get new clients. Now this can be big corporations, local individuals, or even local companies. In this video, I'm going to break down how to create value so it's a no-brainer that they work with you. My name is Dom, I own Hole Printing Inc. I've been in the printing industry for years and I've worked with many big corporations, and my only goal is to help you in your printing journey. So now before we get started, obviously I've worked with FedEx quite a few times, other big corporations in my area, and a bunch of local companies and local individuals. The number one thing I've found that creates an immense amount of value and gives the local companies a chance to work with you is creating value from the get-go. Now, it's not a lie that you can get stuff printed pretty much anywhere in the world. Whether you be in Africa, in Canada, in the US, there's a bunch of suppliers to choose from, and it's really kind of a bit difficult for somebody to work with you rather than anybody else in the world. Think about it. You're most likely new in this. Your products are not tested and true. You don't have a bunch of reviews. There's a lot of key elements that you might be lacking when it comes to social proof. Now, once you've been doing this for 2, 3, 4, 5 years and so on, you get social proof, you get all of these things which make it a lot easier for people to trust you and do business with you. The number one thing I've found that helps you create a head start and beat your competition when it comes to value is going to be going above and beyond your competition. Now let me give you the most simple example without stretching this video too long. The number one thing you want to do if you want to work especially with local companies is going to be to create a sample. Number one thing you do is you make a list of, let's say, 100 companies you'd like to work with in your local area. Once you have these 100 companies, write them down. Try to figure out and see patterns when it comes to t-shirt. If you can find out the color of the t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, whatever they might be using on a regular basis, that can be drivers from that local company that you see their shirts. And if you've been in the area for a while and you're into printing, you most likely already see these things pop out, right? At least for me, when I'm passing by and I see a company, an employee from a company, I always tend to look at their shirt, look at what color it is, look at what style of shirt it is. You know, after being a few years in the industry, I'm pretty much familiar with what the brands are without having to look at the tag. Obviously, it can be a different company. It doesn't have to be their tags in particular when it comes to the specific t-shirt, but it helps, right? Making sure at least you have the color accuracy of the actual t-shirts or garments they're wearing, making sure you have an idea where the logo placement is, because especially if it's a bigger local company, they're going to have the same orders on repeat, right? Every single year or every other year, they're going to reorder the same thing because they're most likely satisfied with the results. Another thing you can look out for, if it's a local company but they don't really have that much branding going on, you can create a new logo from scratch, and there's a bunch of ways you can provide that value. After you have the list of the 100 companies, you have the t-shirt that they're most likely wearing, you have the colorways of those t-shirts or garments, you make a list of everything you need to order. You do a bulk order so you can save per item, and once you receive all the materials, the hoodies, the jackets, whatever the case may be, take the local company's logos on Google or create a new one if they don't already have one. You're going to be printing around 100 pieces of clothing for all of those 100 companies, and create a sample box with your business card, an introduction letter saying, hey, my name is this, I want to provide this, you guys can have an idea what I have to offer, and you basically introduce yourself and you introduce your company and why it would be a beneficial thing that you guys work together. You want to frame this in a way that you're not looking to make a sale, you're only providing free value. Now you can embroider these samples, you can DTF print them, you can screen print them. It doesn't really matter the actual way that you go about providing this sample, it's really the delivery of it. I said 100, you guys can start with 5, 10, it doesn't have to be. I understand the budget might be a bit lower for some people, but you can at least start with one, right? Tote bag, they're really cheap. You simply print their logo on the front of the bag, you slide everything in, business card, letter of introduction, and the sample, and then you physically go deliver that sample, right? So you knock on the door or you go inside of the company if it's a bigger one, and then you ask to speak to a decision maker. You can ask to speak to a receptionist, a product manager, or the owner if he's there or if she's there. Once you've spoken with the appropriate person, and let's say in this example that the decision maker or the owner is not there, you simply explain to the receptionist that you've given them a free sample and you'd love to get in touch with the owner or the decision maker or manager whenever they're available. Leave your contact information with the secretary or the receptionist, and obviously have one in the bag already to go. Once the decision maker or the owner opens up this free sample and they see the quality and they see that you went above and beyond by giving them something of free value, they'll most likely be in touch. Now, the reason I said 100 in the beginning of this example is because the more people you do this with, the higher ROI is going to be. If you only do it with one person, you're going to kind of be in a position where you have not a lot of fishing rods in the pond, right? You want to have as many people in the loop as possible so you can actually get a return on this investment, right? Once you've been doing this for a while, you can up the quality by giving them some custom boxes with your branding on it, and make this a regular thing until they eventually sign a contract with you. And even after you had this company for a while, you want to go around Christmas time and give some free value, whether that be an embroidered jacket, a gift that you think that the owner or staff is going to like, and you want to go above and beyond in these interactions so you can maintain the relationship, because in business it's always about relationships, not the actual product or service. Obviously these two things help, but it's really about the relationship you're building with these decision makers and owners. So that would be my number one tip. Now you can also do this with, let's say in this example that the company doesn't have a logo, you don't have to physically create a sample, right? You can just go ahead and create a free logo and send an email and introduce yourself from that point. There's a bunch of different ways when it comes to the specifics that you can implement this for your own printing shop, but at least this video gives you a more in-depth idea of how it's breaking down, how many samples you should do, how you should do them, how you should actually go about seeing what colors they usually use, right? It's all about being in the moment when you're going about your daily day in your town. Try to see stuff that sticks out and you implement that, and you provide free value. The number one thing I want you guys to take into consideration before you start doing this, you don't want to disturb any of the owners. Even if you're going in with a free sample, ask if they're there, if they're available, and if, let's say the receptionist says, yeah, he or she is there, I'm just not too sure if they're in a meeting or what's going on, you can kindly say, hey, look, I don't want to disturb them. Just give this to them whenever they have some free time. They can call me back whenever they're available, right? You don't want to be too pushy. And if you, let's say, don't get an answer from that specific client, or potential client I should say, it's simple, guys. You simply redo the same thing. You create a new sample. Let's say this time you did a t-shirt, you can do a long sleeve, right? And you can change up the quality, maybe go with something a bit higher quality, a different type of print, you know, play around, have fun with it, right? Because this is the number one thing that's going to elevate you to new heights. Providing free value doesn't stop when you secure the contract. You want to keep providing value. Even if it's a bigger corporation, you want to show that you appreciate their business and you're building a relationship with the decision maker, not only the company, right? That can be providing free samples before they place their new order, or just a gift, right? Randomly, Christmas time, in the summer, whatever the case may be. And you can also go a step above that. Once you get to know the person that you're, you know, communicating with for these orders, you get to know their preferences and their personal, you know, choices when it comes to, let's say, food, drinkware, apparel, obviously, their personal style, and as well as some other gifts. You just want to frame it in a way that you're not trying to give them value so they order again. You're just showing your appreciation. You don't want to put too much emphasis on the gift. You just want to give it casually and thank them and leave it at that, right? You don't want to bribe them, in other words. It needs to be an act of gratefulness and appreciation, not from a place of scarcity and lack. So hopefully you guys have a better idea on how to get more clients and how to provide more value. I can make a way more in-depth video on how to do this properly, step by step, and I can actually show you guys an example. Let's say when we're doing our 100 next companies, I can make a detailed video showing you step by step how to go about getting the emails of those decision makers, how to scout out the companies so you actually know what color t-shirts they wear, what their logo is, and how to vectorize that logo so you can actually have a quality logo, because let's be real, most time on Google it's not going to be the best quality. So I can make an in-depth video if ever you guys are interested in that. However, at least now you have a toolkit and a tool belt to better proceed in your new interactions with these potential clients, and you know exactly what to do. I made a video on where to source the best blanks and as well as the top suppliers so you guys can save on those orders, and also you can actually make a write-off of these expenses in your taxes as donations, gifts, and stuff of that nature. You can actually make this decision make sense financially for you if ever the budget is a bit too tight. Start slow and grow this as you start getting results. Again, let's make an updated video very soon. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that, and I'll see you all in the next video. I hope you guys found this video somewhat helpful. If you did, make sure you leave a like, comment your thoughts down below if you want to see another updated version of this more in depth, and thank you guys so much for watching. This was Dom from Whole Printing Inc. Make a print you'll never forget.